In a small town nestled between thick forests and rolling hills, there lived a young photographer named Ethan. Ethan had a deep passion for capturing the beauty of life through his camera lens. His small studio, filled with photographs of nature, families, and happy moments, was his pride and joy. One day, while exploring an old antique shop on the edge of town, Ethan stumbled upon a peculiar camera. It was an old, rusty piece with a leather strap that had seen better days. The shop owner, an elderly man with wrinkled hands and a kind smile, noticed Ethan's interest. "Ah, that camera has been here for as long as I can remember," the old man said. "It's not for sale though. Many believe it's cursed." Ethan laughed at the thought. A cursed camera? That sounds like something out of a ghost story. The old man shrugged. "Believe what you will, but I've heard strange things. People say this camera shows you things you shouldn't see." Intrigued, Ethan convinced the old man to let him take the camera home. "I'll return it tomorrow," he promised. Back in his studio, Ethan examined the camera closely. Despite its age, it seemed to be in perfect working condition. Curiosity got the best of him, and he decided to take a few photos around town. He snapped pictures of the lively market, children playing in the park, and even the old church at the center of town. But when he developed the photos later that evening, his heart sank. The images were nothing like what he had seen through the lens. Instead of joyful scenes, the photos showed something far more chilling. The market was deserted, the park was filled with broken toys, and the church was in ruins. Most disturbingly, there were shadows of people in each photo, lying still as if lifeless. Ethan's hands trembled as he looked at the final photo. It was a picture of his best friend, Jake, standing by the church. But in the photo, Jake was lying on the ground, his face pale and his eyes closed. "This can't be real," Ethan whispered to himself. "It's just a trick of the light, a faulty camera." Determined to prove it wrong, Ethan rushed to Jake's house. He found Jake in the backyard, healthy and alive, laughing as he played with his dog. Relieved, Ethan told himself that the camera was just broken. But the next day, the news spread like wildfire. There had been an accident at the church. Part of the old building had collapsed, and Jake was among those who didn't make it. Ethan was devastated. The photo had shown Jake's death before it happened. Fear gripped his heart as he remembered the other photos he had taken, the market, the park. Were those images also predictions of the future? In a panic, Ethan rushed to the park and the market. To his horror, he found the scenes from the photos slowly coming to life. The market, once bustling, was eerily quiet, with empty stalls and fallen fruit. The park, once full of laughter, was silent, with toys scattered on the ground as if the children had vanished. Desperate to stop the curse, Ethan decided to return the camera to the antique shop. But when he arrived, the shop was gone. The building stood empty, as if it had never existed. Confused and terrified, Ethan asked around, but no one remembered the shop or its elderly owner. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan became a recluse, too afraid to use any camera again. The haunting images from the cursed camera were burned into his memory, and he couldn't shake the feeling that more tragedies were coming. One night, as Ethan sat alone in his studio, the cursed camera suddenly flashed on its own, capturing one last photo. With trembling hands, Ethan developed the image. It was a picture of himself, lying lifeless on the floor of his studio. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. He knew what was coming, but there was no escaping it. The camera had shown him his own death, just as it had with Jake and the others. The curse was real, and it was now his turn to face its dark power. The next morning, Ethan was found in his studio, just as the photo had shown. The cursed camera lay beside him, its lens cracked and its film spent. The townspeople whispered about Ethan's death, but no one ever knew the truth. The cursed camera, now missing, would remain a mystery, waiting for its next victim. And so, the story of the cursed camera became a legend, a warning to those who dared to seek out the unknown, for some secrets are better left undiscovered.